Hey guys, welcome back to Official Bravo Nation. This is episode number 18, and today we are going to be recapping The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 13, episode 20, The Reunion Part 3. So we start off with where we left off in Reunion Part 2 with Kyle versus Sutton, and Sutton saying, like Denise said, watch the show. Watch the show. So Kyle and Sutton are going back and forth, and Kyle said the only reason why she said Sutton was a good friend in Barcelona because they were in the church, they were in the house of God, and she didn't want to get struck down by lightning. But then Sutton was like, so you were lying? And then Kyle was like, why don't you just shut up? And so he's had enough. So he's like, where do we go from here? And Kyle said, it's not something that they can't come back from. And then Sutton started tearing up. She's like, I really do miss Kyle. And so Andy's like, just hug it out. So they get up and hug it out. And something I noticed about Sutton barely moved. Kyle got up and she went to Sutton. And Sutton said, hold me tight. Don't let me fall. So something was going on with her physically then. Erica was annoyed that they made up so quick. Erica cannot stand Sutton. She tries, but she just can't. She didn't like that Kyle and Sutton made up so fast. She's like, what is this? But that was pretty funny. And now we're waiting for Kathy. Kathy is coming out of her trailer. She's taking a few promo shots for Bravo. And Kyle says, I haven't even cried yet. And Andy says, well, you're about to. And then Kathy comes out and she says hi to everyone. And then we see footage of Kyle throughout the season talking about her relationship with Kathy, to Kim, to her therapist. We see the scenes with Kyle versus Sutton, where Sutton's like, you already lost 2 sisters, you want to lose a third. And when Erica said, some of the women in this group are afraid of Kathy because she is Beverly Hills and she can shut you out of social circles. And so Andy asked Erica about that, like, who's in this group afraid of Kathy? And then all of a sudden, Sutton her arms just wiggles. And it's just the strangest thing. I feel like Sutton worked herself up into some kind of a attack. I feel like she was scared of Kathy. I feel like she knew Kathy has seen these episodes. I know Kathy says she only watches the clips, but I feel like Sutton knew Kathy had seen some of the episodes. And her throwing up in Kyle's face, her feud with her sisters, I'm sure that pissed Kim and Kathy off. Because if me and my sister were in a feud and someone who was kind of like friends with both of us was like, well, you already lost your sister. If someone had said that to my sister while me and my sister are in a feud, that would piss me off. This is why my grandmother taught us, do not get in the middle of family feuds. Look what happened to Brandi Glanville after season 5. Her life has been on a downward spiral ever since. She put herself in the middle of Kim and Kyle's fight. And what happened? By season 6 reunion, Kim and Kyle were holding hands, sitting next to each other on the couch because they're sisters, and that's what sisters do. And Brandi stuck her ass in the middle, and it kind of changed her life for the worse. And so Sutton did that all season. Garcelle and Crystal are friends with Kathy also, but they didn't do what Sutton did. Sutton was bold with it. I mean, she was throwing it up in Kyle's face. I'm sure seeing all of that, really pissed Kathy and Kim off. So I know you can't fake high blood pressure and your heart rate, but I feel like she was afraid of Kathy and what was coming. So she had a real panic attack. But Sutton goes to the hospital and Garcelle goes with her. And it's just the 6 ladies out there by themselves. And the rest of this reunion is about Kyle and Mauricio, Kyle and Morgan Wade, and Kyle and Kathy and their family. So this week in real time, Netflix released a clip of season 2 of Buying Beverly Hills. And in the clip, you can see Mauricio talking to his friends about what happened between him and Rick Hilton and how he ended up leaving Hilton and Highland and creating the agency. He said that he was bringing in 20% of the revenue for Hilton and Highland. And when he went to them and asked to be made partner, they said no. Kathy said Rick wasn't upset about him creating the agency. Rick was upset that he poached some agents. Apparently, Kyle said that those agents were people who Mauricio brought in. It was called the Umansky Group. He created that group. And so when he left, they went with him and he felt that he had a right to take them with him. Rick said he was poaching. And this is what created the family feud that lasted for so long, because Kyle really didn't want to get into it, because that feud between Rick and Mauricio, her and Kathy's, I think they stopped speaking for a decade. Like, it changed the dynamic of their family. It went really deep. And Kyle was like, I have been through enough. And Mauricio said in the clip too, Kyle lost her family because of that, because she stood by him, and he said he needed her to stand by him at that time. So Kyle has done a lot. Kyle is the reason that Mauricio is where he is. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take away from his hard work. I know he's a hardworking man, but Kyle is the one who said, let's go get our real estate licenses. When Mauricio lost his job, it was Kyle's brother-in-law, Rick Hilton, who hired Mauricio to work for Hilton and Highland. And it was Kyle's TV show, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that put the agency on the map. Yes, Kyle Richards created The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It was a show that was supposed to be about Kim, Kathy, and Kyle, and Kathy didn't want to do it. So Kyle was like, what about another franchise of the Housewives? And that's how The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills came together. She cast herself, Kim, Lisa Vanderpump, and Camille Grammer. So put some motherfucking respect on her name. But Kathy and Kyle say they came together at Whitney's wedding. Whitney is Kim's second daughter, and she's a member of the Davis family. The Davis family, this is the family that Aaron Spelling based Dynasty off of. Like, they're a wealthy oil family, or I don't know what to call that, but they have a lot of damn money. That's what I know. And Whitney is a member of the Davis family. But Whitney was getting married in Aspen, and Kathy says she was in a salon and she heard Kyle say, that's my sister Kathy. And so it really touched her. And, you know, they made up. I'm so happy that they made up. It's ironic that Kim's daughter is the one who ended up bringing the two of them together. So that's really nice. I like when the sisters are getting along, and when they can, because, you know, life is short. And, you know, like, put all that shit behind you. Just, you know, get on with your sisters and spend as much time as you can with each other. They've lost so much time because of that feud with Mauricio and Rick. So it's really nice to see them come back together like this. But then we get into the Mo and Kyle of it all and talk about their marriage and how, you know, I think the DMs had a lot to do with it. She said that Mauricio didn't understand DMs at first. So she would just go into his DMs, and there was a lot of women trying to hook up with him or saying they want to work at the agency. And she would just delete that DMs. And then once Mauricio started learning how to use social media, he was talking to them, I guess, and liking pictures and following them back. And she asked him to stop, and he didn't. And she said they had problems that they would sweep under the rug and just get on with life because they had kids and work, and they were doing a bunch of other things. And, you know, those problems don't go away. You can sweep them under the rug and put them to the side, but they ended up showing up later on. And, you know, that was another issue that they had. And she said during the season when they were filming, they were so awkward with each other because Mauricio didn't want to tell anyone that they were having issues. And she said she just couldn't fake it. So that's why a lot of the scenes of their relationship this season was really hard to watch. Like, what is going on? And when remember that scene when he tried to kiss her and she was like, ugh, why are you trying to kiss me? She just seemed grossed out by him trying to kiss her. But yeah, that's because Mauricio wasn't ready to talk about it. And Kyle says remember season 4 when LVP told Brandy to bring the tabloids? All the rumors about Mo cheating. Kyle said they did make her feel insecure. You know, it did hurt her when they would bring that up on the show. And Mo would say, you know, don't worry about it. You know, it's not true. We know what's really going on. But Kyle said, yes, it was very hurtful. And Kathy said, when you're in the public eye, people make up things. There's a lot of chatter about it. And she said it even worked on her and Kyle. And this is what I don't like about the fans, because I knew, like, Kyle can handle it. She's used to it. But Kathy has people in her comments, in her DMs, telling her Kyle is a horrible sister. She set you up. And, you know, these people are crazy because none of that happened. But Kathy, probably hearing it so many times, she took it in and felt like Kyle had done something to her, when in reality, Kyle didn't do anything to her last season. Kathy was the one in the wrong. And the fans will make you feel like a victim when you're not, just because you're going against someone that they don't like. And a lot of the fans don't like Kyle because of Lisa Vanderpump and because Kyle didn't kiss her ass. And so they have been trying to make her pay, and they succeeded by putting her and her sister against each other last season. But that's another reason why I'm glad Kathy and Kyle have made up and they've moved on. But she said her and Mauricio, they have talked about divorce. She really got choked up when Andy asked him, would he move out? And she said, yes, he would be the one who would move out. And you can tell that was really hard for her. So I just feel like it's done. It's just like a matter of time. And, it's 30 years together, and she's really trying to, figure it out. And, I'm sure it's going to be announced probably in the upcoming months or so. But, it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And I just hope that, everyone does what makes them happy. And I hope Kyle and her girls are okay. And I just wish Mauricio well, and I wish all of them well. And I'm just really sorry that their 30-year marriage is where it is. And with that, we're going to go to the Morgan Wade of it all. So Andy asked Kyle, how does Morgan feel about her appearance on the show? Kyle says she doesn't like the scrutiny. She doesn't like all the attention. She didn't realize the magnitude of Bravo. Like, she didn't watch Housewives. I'm sure she heard of it just from following pop culture, but she didn't realize the amount of attention that Bravo gets, because Kyle and Morgan Wade are always on TMZ. They're always in the Daily Mail or on Page 6. They're always in the tabloids. And Kyle says that Morgan, she doesn't like that, and that she would, trade that in just to be able to do her music, and that she's not doing it for clout. Because someone asked, Morgan is just there for clout. She doesn't really she's not into Kyle like that. And the crush is not reciprocated. And then someone said that Kyle and Morgan's their first scene on camera was electric. I felt that too. I felt chemistry. When they were in the tattoo parlor, she stalked me. I love the way she talks. But Andy asks, are you two a couple? Kyle says no. Andy asks, do you have feelings for her? Kyle says she loves her as a friend. Andy asks, do you think you can ever see yourself with her? And Kyle says she doesn't know. She doesn't know what the future holds. Clearly, she's going through some kind of evolution, and she's just unsure. I feel like maybe in a few months or so, we'll hear that Kyle and Morgan are together. I'm trying to take Kyle's word for it, but I know what Kyle is telling me. I feel like she's working through it because, I'm a heteronormative woman. And if at my age I woke up and all of a sudden I had romantic feelings for a woman, that would be confusing. I wouldn't know what to do with that. I would be like, what the hell is going on? And I feel like Kyle is trying to work through that. Like, what is this? So I think she deserves some grace and time to figure it out herself. She's probably like, what the hell am I feeling here? And I feel like, maybe one day we'll hear about, maybe next year, season 14, when Kathy and Kim are back as friends of, maybe Morgan Wade will be on the couch. But, that's what Andy hopes. That's what Bravo and Andy hopes happens. But that's pretty much the end of the reunion. But Andy does ask each woman, what were their takeaways for the season. And Anne-Marie says, she had a rough season, but, only thing that matters in life is health and love. And Crystal says that her voice matters. That's what she's learned. Erica said that she's okay. She's proud of herself, and that, she feels a lot better than she has in the past few years. Kathy says she's just happy to be there for Kyle. Dorit, she started talking to Andy, yawns again. He's just joking though. But she says she needs to be less naive. And Kyle said she lost her happily ever after. She thought Mauricio was her happily ever after. But, he's not. And that she will have her real, true happily ever after eventually. And that is the end of season 13 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast. There's no more Beverly Hills. There's no more Love is Blind season 6. So we are going to be recapping Buying Beverly Hills. We're going to do Jersey when it comes up. And maybe I'll find another show to recap. But thank you guys for listening. And see you later. Bye-bye.